Hi, I'm Sarah. After my January plant and planter haul, I decided it was time for a plant ban. It's even hard for me to say. This is mission propagation. So no further plant purchases until April 25th, which is Houston Plant Con. I'm so excited. In a last-ditch effort before the plant ban commenced, I ran to Lowe's to get some salt for the water softener, and I wanted to check out the African violets. Gina from the Pink Trellis has me convinced I can handle that genus. There was some Tycons that had almost like a half moon variegation that was really beautiful. And then the plants were so crammed in here, it was hard to not hit the plants. The parlor palms and the dracaenas, they still have the braided dracaenas that I think are just so beautiful. And I believe they were $64.98. And I love dracaenas. They're so easy, and I've found that they grow really good in my home environment. And the nice little fiddle fig. I have a nice fiddle fig that when people see it, they're like, how do you keep this thing alive? And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. I've killed 3, and now I have one that I purchased off the clearance rack 2 years ago, and it's thriving somehow. More crammed in parlor palms. And then there was lots of different just plants. Nothing super new, but still beautiful. All these common plants still need to be highlighted and gushed over because they're so beautiful. I noticed this Aglaonema with this really pretty, almost red leaf. And yeah, there's that Thai constellation that just had so much variegation. I had to go and kind of pull it out of the pile. I wanted to look at it, but they're $50 still. And if I find a $16 Thai constellation, I'll get it, but not till after my plant ban. I'm gonna be good. Someone went through and just threw this plant fertilizer everywhere, so I took it upon myself to fix that. I know I didn't need to, but that's just my personality. I like to put things where they go. I feel like the shelves are still kind of empty. I was at this Lowe's about a month ago and everything was completely empty. So I had high expectations. And it's not like there wasn't nice plants available. There were. I just expected more, I guess. I did see a rack of plants that hadn't been unwrapped yet, and I'll get to that in a second, but here's the African violets. I saw some African violets at the last Lowe's I went to, and there was a white African violet, and then there was one that was this nice pink with white centers, and those are what I was hoping I would find. And so I looked over these African violets, and while they were beautiful, I kind of had to walk away and think about which ones I got. I did leave with that African violet though. Let me just make that clear. Because this is my plant ban. It's starting in a few hours. So I want to see if I can try to grow an African violet and be successful at it. My aunt, she was 12 years older than me, and she was really into plants, and she really loved African violets. So every time I see them, I think of my aunt. She was more like a big sister. And yeah, it's almost sentimental. And I think learning to grow these is something I'd like to figure out. And thankfully on YouTube, there's so much education. And some of my favorite YouTubers, like Gina, she talks about African violets. So I feel confident that I can give this genus a try. And just those colors are so beautiful. I thought about getting this one because the purple is just so vibrant and gorgeous. I would really like to have one with the variegated leaves, but gonna walk away and look some more because I'm gonna think it over. I wanted to think it over and I wanted to get just the right plant. Okay, there is a Hoya sitting on the floor. And because of my personality type, I have to put it back. Plus, it's cold on the floor. That's not good for that plant. So I'm going to hang it up on a rack. And that way it can not get frozen. And someone will be able to look at it from above and see how beautiful it is. They had a lot of the smaller plants, Photonias, Crotons. There was some nice variegated Mondulas. Some cute peperomias, and I really like this Croton because when I was on the Harmony of the Seas ship, if you'd like to see that video, I'll tag it. There was a botanical garden on a cruise ship I recently went on, and their Crotons were like out of this world. They were so huge and beautiful, and it made me have a new appreciation for Crotons. You never can miss those beautiful pothos. I adore pothos so much. I just replanted my Jesenia pothos. And then these planters are so pretty. I love these terracotta planters. And then this is the Epipremnum pinnatum, albo or marble, I'm not sure. But I love how these get those little tiny holes, the variegation, when the leaves are pretty small. I just think it's a beautiful plant. Costa Farms didn't say what they were on the tag, but I really like the leaves on that particular Epipremnum. And then I was pretty sure I saw that they're Mount Solic. I've been looking for a Mount Solic since I saw one like 2 months ago, and I hadn't seen them in any of the stores. And they're just beautiful. I did get a Syndapsis Silver Splash, but it doesn't compare to the Mount Solic leaves. They have like that dark vein with the silver, and the leaf, it's just beautiful. Now these little cat planters, someone commented on one of my videos that they actually found one on sale, so I'm just hoping that I'll find one on sale eventually, because those cat planters are so cute as hanging planters. But this one was so cute too. Look at that, is so adorable. And then so there was a white one, and then there was a black one, and they're both so adorable. I can imagine those would look really cute with the black and white planters from Walmart. These tiny plants were like struggling big time, so I didn't even like spend much time looking at them. And then they had the plants were just all kind of crowded in. They had some nice looking succulents, and of course the succulents with the fake flowers, which is funny, but colorful. I mean, you can't say it's not fun to look at. Very colorful. The clearance bin, I was hoping that I would find something, but I didn't really see anything. I just realized that I saw that they had one of those Dotsons. I was looking for those little Dotson air plant holders. Just realized I missed seeing that. And they had some philodendrons that were still pretty healthy. And then they had this alocasia, and they didn't look too bad. I want the alocasia mellow if I get an alocasia. Like, I have like a really small wish list for this year because I feel pretty well about my plant collection at this point. But I do want to get maybe 2 alocasia, but one of them is the mellow. And then the other one, I would like a pink black velvet corm. I'd like to try to grow it from a corm. So the clearance aisle wasn't like the best options, but there was some hidden gems in there that if I was looking for any of those plants, I would have been really happy. Here's another angle of the cacti. This Kalanchoe that's like really fuzzy. I love the texture of those. I forget what the exact name of those is. Y'all could leave it in a comment. But I like the fuzziness of the leaves. And then here was some more plants that they hadn't finished unwrapping, and they had some Jesenias that were really variegated, highly variegated. And I wasn't sure if like this one had some like browning on the leaves, and I thought maybe it was because it got cold. I found this begonia, and I gotta put it where it goes, y'all. It was gonna die on that shelf. And it's one with the wick, so it needs water. So just bear with me while I do my due diligence and save a plant. Okay, this Jesenia was really beautiful. And then they had Hoya Chelseas, y'all. They had several large baskets of Hoya Chelseas. And then this Brazil, I love the tangerine like stems of the new growth on that. The colors are just so beautiful when you look at the colors of that Brazil. I think there was like 3 or 4 huge Chelseas, and I was really impressed by that. So then there was this Hawaiian chlorophytum, a bunch of pothos. There wasn't anything that I couldn't live without, but I did need the African violet. And I got this one because it has like double blooms. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm going to watch some more of Gina's videos so I can learn more. Thank you for watching. I hope y'all have a great day and enjoy all the planty things. Bye!